pronunciation right. This happened a couple of years ago, but as it is today, he has been detained by the DSS. Now, Murik, Muslim Rights Concerned, did say they commended the DSS for taking prompt action. But the story doesn't stop here. Today, we'll be looking at what is happening. Why are children being abducted, raped, and converted? Why? What is the reason behind it? This and more when we come back after the break. Please stay with us. Welcome back. I'm being joined via Zoom all the way from Lagos by Professor Isiaq Akitola, who is the Executive Secretary of Murik Muslim Rights Concern. Prof, a very good morning and welcome to the program.
Thank you. Good morning.
All right. Prof, it's a very sad and troubling story. A 16-year-old Walida Abdul Hadi
officer, and the girl was not discovered. The abduction was not discovered until a few days ago, let's say a week or two ago. And we thank God and we commend the DSS Abuja for taking prompt action, because even though Ifeanyi is one of them, one of their own, they were very objective, and they are looking at it straight from the professional point of view. He has been detained, and we commend them for that. But beyond that, we want that case prosecuted. We want them to follow it, to follow the issue to the very last. And of course, Muslim Rights Concern Murik will be watching on the sideline.
Okay, Prof, how do you explain an officer of the law, breaking the law, abducting a minor, raping her and converting her to Christianity? How do you explain that, an officer of the law, a DSS for that matter?
You see, there's always a black sheep in the heart, in every heart. There's always the bad egg. It's not everybody that will be morally upright. And even though we know that the training of the DSS and their modus operandi, there's a state discipline. There must be one or two within the rank and file who will misbehave from time to time. It is like that in the army, it is like that in the police, and it's not in Nigeria alone, it's everywhere. It depends on the individual and the kind of outlook he has on life. This man is a disappointment. The DSS officer who abducted Walida Abdul Hadi. Ifeanyi has taken it upon himself to infringe upon Allah given a fundamental human right of this lady by keeping her under unlawful detention, I will call it. He locked her up in his house, didn't allow her to go out, and continued to rape her, incessantly until she became pregnant. And by now, the lady already has put to bed. But you see, the long arm of the law has finally caught up with him.
Okay.
It's been his hideout was discovered. Interestingly, he had kept the girl in his quarters, official quarters, in the DSS facility. It's most unfortunate. We are monitoring the progress of this story, and we are going to make sure that Ifeanyi is put away for a long, long time.
Prof, in his facility, DSS facility, is it in Abuja or where? And secondly, doesn't that also explain in Abuja?
In Abuja, yes.
Okay, and then people within that vicinity don't even know something is going on. They don't even know that a child is being kept in that house.
You see, unless Nigerians learn to become peeping toms, a lot of things happen around you that you don't want to take note of. And that is why the security agencies have always advised, they've always advised Nigerians that if they see something, they should say something. We cannot abandon ourselves to ourselves. Whenever we see something unusual, we should speak out or ask questions from neighbors, from family, from friends, from law enforcement agents.
But I want to believe. I want to believe that there's some kind of collaborators in this issue, because if a child is kept there for 2 years, I'm sure she's going to church. I'm sure she's going for medication when she was pregnant. Is it that he sneaks in the middle of the night to carry out all of this, or she doesn't even go out at all? So I'm sure there are collaborators in that DSS facilities.
You see, it is possible that people around were not aware of the lady being there. There have been stories around the world, in Britain, in the US, of criminals keeping detained human beings under the cellar, even anywhere. They can keep them anywhere. They can lock them up in a separate room where people in the backyard, in the boys' quarters, where people hardly frequent. And of course, people go to work early in the morning and they come back in the evening. They mind their business. We've had stories of such people kept in custody for years, 10 years, 12 years, only to be discovered after a decade. So we are just lucky that this story leaked after 2 years. Otherwise, the lady could have been there for 6, 7 years. She would have given birth to 2, 3 children. So the issue is the mindset of Ifeanyi himself, his upbringing, his level of understanding, his relationship with society, his outlook on life. We can see he might be a loner, not allowing visitors to come in. So I think that's the kind of picture I can see. But as for the DSS being knowing about it, no, I want to say I think they acted promptly and they acted without suspicion. We can't start assuming that DSS knew about it and that they collaborated. No, they are not collaborators in this case.
But is that not also an indictment on the DSS as an organization itself? Yes, I know this is one bad egg, who has done the impossible, but that's an indictment. It also shows the kind of training that they give officers, and as also the kind of check and balances that they carry out on their officers. Is this not an indictment on them?
And don't forget, they are Nigerians. A British citizen cannot come and enroll in the DSS. They won't take him. A Ghanaian will not be taken. This man is a Nigerian. All our DSS men, I assume, are Nigerians. And of course, they came from the society and they belong to the society. So joining the DSS, they couldn't have absorbed themselves of all the insignias of society, totally and categorically. So Ifeanyi is a Nigerian. He still behaved like the ordinary citizen who, among us here, ordinary citizens, we accuse the police, we accuse the army, but even among the civilians, we commit more, worse atrocities. We also take bribe. There is nothing we don't do. So when there is a bad egg among the uniformed and the uniform, because DSS has no uniform except once in a while, so it's not quite an indictment. We didn't catch 2, 3, we didn't catch 6. We're talking about just one DSS officer misbehaving. We've seen among teachers who should be examples, we've seen bad eggs. We've got black sheep among civil servants. So why won't we see them among others? So this is just once in a while.
All right, Prof, if you say those of us who are outside the security circle misbehaving and doing all of that's understandable. But for a security officer to commit this kind of crime, it also shows the number of bad eggs that we have in our security agencies. But we'll come back to that later on. Let's go to the family itself. This is not the first time that northern children will be taken away from Kano, from Jigawa, from Sokoto, taken to the southeast, converted, sold as slaves. Some of them are being used as they take them to baby, factory. They call it baby factory, houses where they just produce babies and then they are being sold. This is not the first time that it is happening. Does it also that say so much about us as northerners, how we take care of our children and where and are vigilant as far as our children is concerned?
Thank you. I think that's an area of concern. There has been too many cases, and I mean too many, and this is just one too much. Cases of northern children, Muslims in particular, transported down to the southeast and converted to Christianity, of course, by some. Most of them are underage. Some as young as 3, 4, 5, 6. Very few are in their teens. This girl is in his teens, is in her teens, even up to now. And I think even parents cannot keep teenagers under their close watch. At the age of 15, 16, 17, they need to go out to buy sugar, to buy things, to do 1 or 2 things. Even the parents could send them out. And of course, those who are watching for them, those who are actually looking for them, those who are professional abductors or rapists, they're already waiting, they're on the lookout. So we can blame, some of the parents, particularly, majorly from the north, but all parents generally. We have all fallen short of what is expected of us in local parenting. Ordinarily, we should monitor our children, even those who are in the university, in higher institutions. But the younger ones, they are easier to monitor.
Okay.
When they are still below 10, below 9. But after 11, 12, and you are sending them around, they are going to school, you can follow your children to school. Well, you can be talking of those who don't care where their children are, those who send their children out or to schools where they are used as beggars. You can blame those ones because they are not performing what is expected of them. They are not guarding their siblings very well. Their offsprings very well.
Okay.
So,
what could be
as for this girl, she was abducted at the age of 16. No, there's no mother or father that will tie a 16-year-old girl down within the house, even if it's for 3 minutes. She could be sent out to go on an errand, and the wayward, these abductors, criminal-minded people are out. Even if it's for 1 minute, they are already watching. And they will seize the opportunity to pounce on them.
I know you tell me you are not one of them, but what could be the reason of abducting northern children? Um, raping them, some converting them to Christianity, taking them all the way to the southeast. I mean, Christianity doesn't encourage people being forced to join Christianity. So, what could be the reason that these criminals do what they have to do? What could be the reason? What could be the driving force?
Well, I would say when it comes to the rapists and abductors, let me talk about the rapists. I think it's inbuilt. People who have no respect for women and who think they can impose whatever they want on women, or people who are extraordinarily, you know, uh, who have extraordinary sexual powers or sexual impulse. They think they can do it, and they must do it everywhere. They don't. It is lack of discipline, self-discipline, and that's what Ifeanyi has exhibited in this case. However, it is not. This is not limited to Christians alone. Neither is it limited to people of any certain region. However, it's another trait when we start giving statistics about the number of Muslim children that have been stolen, kidnapped from the north and taken to the southeast. It appears there is this impression down there that there are free children in the north because they don't monitor their children. Let's go and pick them and convert them to Christianity. Yes, there is this prevalent idea also that demographically Muslims are larger in number. They are higher in number. We have a higher population. So maybe by stealing more and more of our children, they will have more on their side that they will convert to Christianity. It is part of the search for more fishes. If you know where I'm coming from, so it is a search for they want to catch as many fishes as possible.
Mm.
So that is responsible for the aggressive evangelism that we see today. So as preaching goes on in public buses, in commercial vehicles, in neighborhoods, and so on and so forth, they still want to continue to do it by forcing some people to adopt Christianity. And those are the children that they are stealing. They know Muslims. A single Muslim man will marry maybe 4 wives, 3 or 2. Unknown to them, there are Muslims who have only 1 wife.
Okay.
There are Muslims who
Okay,
have only 1
Prof.
wife each.
Yes,
So,
Prof. This forceful evangelism, the forceful evangelism that you talked about, should it encourage abduction of children? Shouldn't we begin to investigate this ring of abduction, of stealing children, all in the name of converting and selling them outside their region?
oh yes, it's an area for the federal government to pay attention, particularly the governments of the northern states.
Mm.
They should start investigating the number of children that have been abducted. After all, we've not been hearing of northerners coming to the southeast and stealing children to take to the north. It has never happened. But there are so many cases, too many, I must say, of children from the north being seized and taken to the south for the sole purpose of evangelization, converting them to Christianity. To some of our Christian neighbors, conversion methods are unlimited. They believe the fair and the foul methods should be adopted. So that is where the Christian leaders need to check their followers.
Okay. Let's come back to the northerners themselves. This is not the first too many incident. I remembered the children from Kano who were taken away some time ago, where they had to bring them back, and people went to see, to check out their children. And if the political class is not doing enough to arrest the situation, what are the the traditional institutions doing? And especially community leaders, opinion leaders, the ones that have connection with the everyday people, because this cannot be going on over and over and over again.
I think we have a problem of misplacement of priorities in some places. What do I mean by that? By that, I think people do not pay enough attention to the upbringing of children. They trivialize it, and that is the unfortunate side of the schooling of children in the Islamic system. Schooling in the Western system is being so dangerously trivialized that parents feel they are not responsible, that society will train their children, but it shouldn't be like that. So if we get our priorities right, instead of like we have a governor, for instance, the governor of Kebbi, in December, he sent he borrowed he approved 10 billion naira for the sponsorship of 1,000 and maybe 1,500 pilgrims to citizens of Kebbi to be sponsored on Hajj. This 10 billion naira could build 10 standard hospitals, teaching hospitals of high standard. But he diverted he turned his attention from infrastructure, roads, schools, and focused on pilgrimage. Whereas in Islam, pilgrimage is the fifth and the last. It is one of the pillars. It is compulsory for a Muslim, but it is only for those who have the ability. Liman istata'a ilayhi sabil. That's what the hadith of the Prophet says, and that's what the Sharia says. But we turn it upside down and we make the fifth the first. We make the last one the numero uno, and this is where the problem lies. I think we should pay more attention to the upbringing of children, to their Islamic education, combined with Western education. So, and then we should discourage begging. Al-Majiri does not translate to begging. Al-Majiri is supposed to lead to education. But for the teachers, the local madams, to now turn out the children to ask them to go to the streets is where we are getting it wrong. I think state governments in the north should pounce on madams who send children to the streets and trace such children to their parents and hold them accountable. This is how to cleanse the society. We cannot close our eyes to this bad deeds. They are evil.
Okay, I know the Almajiri system has been abused for a very long time. I remember in 2013, 2014, President Jonathan came up with the Almajiri school, incorporated into the Western, education. They even built, some of these schools somewhere in Jigawa state, if I can remember very well. But now that the political class have their own priority, they have a different priority from, ensuring that their children, children of the poor are sent to school and taken care of. The community leaders themselves, shouldn't this be a wake-up call for them to take care of their children, to make sure that this Almajiri system is not abused further, and that the people who steal children don't have free children on the streets to steal and convert?
Well, while the security agencies have a duty to pursue those who steal our children, the state government also have a duty to up their games in the area of information, enlightenment. There should be programs running in local languages, discouraging the neglect of children, and reminding parents of the need for them to ensure that they take proper care of their children. They should not send them they should not send them out where they will be used as beggars. After all, the Quran in chapter 2, verse 233 says, وَعَلَى الْمَوْلُودِ لَهُ رِزْقُهُنَّ وَكِسْوَتُهُنَّ. The parents, al-mawlud lahu, the man for whom a woman gives birth, he is the father of the child. Rizquhunna, the feeding, the clothing, the accommodation, the education of children is a moral duty upon the father, upon the parents, the father first, of course. So if the Quran says this, and we are still sending our children to the streets, I think we are not practicing our religion with religious attendance, with religious seriousness. We must be serious about it. What the religion says that we should follow. What the text of the Quran should be followed to the letter. Instead of you leave that now, that responsibility of taking care of your children, you leave that aside, which the Quran prescribes, which it ordained. You leave it aside, and now you are pursuing what Allah did not ordain. Yes, you should go on Hajj, but the Quran did not say we should go and borrow. It's about manistata'a ilayhi sabil. It is for those who have the wherewithal. The sin is on those who have the wherewithal, Muslims who have the wherewithal, who have the money to go on Hajj, but refuse to go on Hajj. That one is a sinner. But for the poor man or the poor salary earner who cannot save enough money to go on Hajj, he should know that Allah is merciful. In Allah, Ghafurun Rahimun. Allah is forgiving and merciful. Allah will not force you to go and borrow money, or to go and steal, or to go and kidnap in order to collect ransom because you want to go on Hajj. Because I remember one bandit leader was arrested while he was preparing to board a plane while going on Hajj. Who sends a bandit to Mecca? Who does that?
Okay.
After committing such atrocities like killing, maiming, and even raping women as bandits and kidnappers.
Okay.
So,
okay. Yes, we have an emergency. This is an emergency, and if care is not taken, more children will be stolen, more children will be converted, and we'll even lose trace of them after so many years. I just want to ask you that should the traditional institutions take charge of this problem? Because if the politicians are losing focus, they have their own priority. Their priority is not about education for the less privileged, but again, the parents themselves who give birth to so many children and don't even know where their children are. I've seen a 4 years old who was transported from Kasina and was found in somewhere in Kaduna. And then you ask, sometimes these children go as far as Borno State, and you ask, what exactly is happening? Is it that this parent just give birth to children that they don't want to take care of? They now shift the responsibility. They now shift the responsibility to government. The government that also has its own priorities, outlined for itself.
Well, let me quickly chip this in. If we caught, I can't remember the DSS man's name again, the one that was
Mr. Ifeanyi.
Ifeanyi. If we caught Ifeanyi, a DSS officer, that was one. We must note that we have just caught only one. There are so many others, civilians, who have been kidnapping children all these days. And even the few that we caught with 14 children, 15 children inside vehicles, if you caught one vehicle, there were a dozen others or 100 others that have escaped. If we found 50 children in the southeast, Muslim children who have been forcefully converted, kidnapped, and brought there, there must have been thousands that were taken away that we never knew about. Having said that, your question concerning the traditional rulers is that, look, the system does not give traditional rulers that leeway. They don't have much power. They don't have any money. Do they have security vote? Traditional rulers don't have security vote. They only receive salaries. And they are under even the local government chairman and the state governors. So we can shift the responsibility to traditional rulers, except that we could ask traditional rulers, we could assemble traditional rulers, give them a talk, and then ask them to cascade this discussion downstairs. In their own areas of jurisdiction, they should assemble parents, they should assemble their people and talk to them about the need for them to take good care of their children.
Okay.
But as for traditional rulers, being asked to be responsible for the safekeeping, the safety, the education, and the well-being of Muslim children in their areas, it will not work because they are not in the system. The Constitution hardly recognizes it. The Constitution hardly recognizes them.
Okay.
The Constitution empowers governors. The Constitution empowers governors to remove traditional rulers, and that is something we should remove from our Constitution. No governor should have the power to remove any traditional ruler anywhere in Nigeria.
Okay.
It leads to abuse of power. They force traditional rulers to join politics, and then later they come back to punish the same traditional rulers. It is injustice. This aspect of the Constitution should be expunged.
Okay. And Prof, at this point, we'll take a short break, and when we return, we'll focus more on, the 16-year-old and what kind of justice she deserves. That will be after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back. It's still the voices coming to you live on the nation's on PN Politics and Business TV from the nation's capital, Abuja. And our focus still remain the abduction, rape, and conversion of the 16-year-old girl from Jigawa State. That is talking about Walida Abdul Hamid by Mr. Ifeanyi, who is a DSS officer. Yes, Prof, if you can hear me now, the question will be what kind of justice should be meted out? What kind of justice does the girl deserve beyond arresting him, investigating him? What justice does she deserve? He took her away from her childhood, which is 16, when she was 16. Today she is a mother, a first mother at the age of 18.
It's very simple. we can say, okay, it was ordinary abduction, ordinary kidnapping, and ordinary rape. We know the punishment for rape. 10-year jail, 6-year jail, it should not be lower than that. But if the law were to take its due course, were to be allowed to fall off several times, it must have changed her hands and legs from time to time, because this girl was not allowed to go out. And if we look at and when you force a woman into your house, you rape her, and you didn't just rape her, you made it consistent ad infinitum, then it is terrorism for 2 good years. So this is a special case for domestic terrorism. That's my opinion.
Okay, all right.
And well, I would appeal to the DSS department, to the Department of State Services, DSS, who have detained this man rightly and who have been objective in the handling of the case, to go further by taking him to court and charging him for domestic terrorism.
Okay, while we await
the please the parents and the society.
Okay, while we await
Yes.
the final verdict on this case, I know we are going to follow the DSS bumper to bumper to see where this ends. But let me ask you, what is the state of the girl right now? Did you hear any information as to the state of the girl right now?
No, we are still monitoring the case. We are in contact with the lawyers, and we will continue to be. As soon as we have information, we will let you know.
Okay. Is she with her parents right now or somewhere else?
For security reasons too,
okay,
I will not disclose that.
Okay. I do know that we will get in touch with you to get the contacts of the lawyers, and if possible, we'll bring the lawyers on our program within the week so that they can give us detailed information of how this girl was found and how they got to where they are today. But Prof, we have NIREC, which is an organization that brings Christians and Muslim leaders together to talk about peace and unity. Shouldn't this issue of converting northern children to Christianity come up in their next minute as a matter of emergency?
With due respect to the members of NIREC, because I am not a member, and so I cannot speak for them, but I don't see NIREC performing. NIREC was there when the Christians of Nigeria wrote an incriminating petition to the United States of America, asking them to come to Nigeria to come and bomb us. NIREC was there. They took the petition down. NIREC headquarters is in Abuja. They didn't submit a copy. They didn't report themselves at their own meetings. They went behind the backs of the Muslim members to lodge their report. No, I will not trust NIREC from here. I will not trust NIREC to handle that kind of business. NIREC, the members are not objective. The members are not truthful. The members of NIREC are not sincere. They are not transparent among themselves. Particularly the way the Christians in the group have been treating their Muslim neighbors. They smile, they laugh when they come to meetings, but behind their backs, behind at night, the Christian members go and conspire against the same Muslim leaders that they just finished meetings with. Okay. Imagine people suggesting that the Sultan of Sokoto is sponsoring terrorism. The same man that has been pleading, that has been preaching peace and peaceful coexistence. The press at a stage in Nigeria was calling Sultan the Sultan of peace, the Sultan of Nigeria, not the Sultan of Sokoto. For them now to turn around and be making serious, serious allegations against the same Sultan because you want Christianity to pervade the whole of Nigeria. You want to take over Sokoto, take Kaduna, take Katsina. You want everybody to become Christian. It is not done. God did not create the world for just one religion. That is why we must accommodate one another. So I will not take any case to NIREC, and I will not advise you take this issue to NIREC.
All right. I'm talking about the press. Prof, do you think that the media has also failed, these children in terms of reporting and escalating their abduction and conversion? I remember the case of the Bayelsa, girl, as Ruru, if I remember, in 2016, where, a Kano, they said a Kano boy abducted her, married her against her will. I don't know the kind of, reportage that, that incident attracted. The whole country was on fire. But here, we've had issues not today, not yesterday. The abduction has been on, and the press is silent. So, do you think we have also contributed, to the growing, danger of, converting our children to Christianity against their will?
I assure you, if Ifeanyi had been a Muslim and abducted a Christian girl, and it is just being discovered now, hell will have broken loose and would have been on the neck of the Director General of the DSS, the Christian Association of Nigeria, the Catholics, the Pentecostals. There would have been fire on the mountain by now. But as for the media, it would have been on television. Now, we have not heard of this case on any of the mainstream television cables. The cable televisions. If it had been a Muslim who perpetrated this atrocity, who behaved like an animal like this, they would all have been everywhere, on radio, on television, in the print and other media. But because a Christian is a perpetrator now, all of them are silent. Khan has gone on sabbatical. The mainstream media, apart from Punch that published the story of his detention, all other newspapers kept silent. I think this is not balanced. It is unprofessional. Nigerian media should wake up. Asymmetric reportage will not take Nigeria anywhere. Imagine the 28 children that were abducted in Plateau, in Jos, recently, about 3 weeks ago. The media reported it as 28 travelers. And we all believe they were just travelers. We know it is always Muslim travelers that were always ambushed in Jos, in Plateau State. It's a killing ground. But we didn't know the travelers were children. Not only children, they were children under 18 who were going for a Maulud Nabi program. They were released about 2 days ago. And it was after they were released that the information came out. People, the government did not mention it, that those that were kidnapped were Muslim children. And this is unfair to Muslims in this country. Why is it, even the government, federal government and state government, why couldn't they release that information in full? And there is Trump threatening to come down. Guns are blazing. Trump should know that Muslim children, 28 of them, were kidnapped and kept away from their parents for 3 good weeks. Not just travelers. Why couldn't the press say Muslim children kidnapped, 28 Muslim children abducted? Because they don't want the world to know that Muslims are also victims. So we are being bashed left, right, and center. And this Muslim bashing will not take Nigeria anywhere, because our children too are watching. Muslims are watching. The world is watching.
Okay. All right. Prof, while you say the media has not done enough, at least I said the media has not done enough, but at least we are starting somewhere. And here on P&B television, we'll follow this case, to the latter and see where exactly, it ends. But in your opinion, what exactly, should happen, especially from, the Muslims organization as far as this case is concerned? If all of them are also keeping quiet, then it means there will be no end to this.
You know, when it comes to propaganda, spreading information and blowing it up, Muslims are moderates in this area. So all I can advise every Islamic organization is to monitor this incident, to speak up whenever necessary, whenever they have the opportunity. Muslim leaders should speak up and to monitor it and ensure that until it comes to a logical conclusion, we should not just abandon the case like that, so that it will not die a natural death. The case of General Ali Kali is still there, who was a Muslim general, retired Muslim general, traveling through the city of Jos, who was abducted by Christian militia terrorists and thrown inside a well. The case is in court. Some people they pick some suspects. The case is in court, but it is in the Jos High Court, controlled by the state paraphernalia. So we've not been hearing much about this case, and that is one of the assignments we are giving the press. You are the first estate of the realm. Such cases should not die. What has happened when last did those suspects appear in court? When last was the case mentioned at all in court? What is the date of the next mentioning? So we want to know. Murik wants to know. Nigerian Muslims want to know. The hot Paloi want to know. So this case should not be swept under the carpet. I'm seizing this opportunity. To remind the governor of Plateau State that when it comes to governance, there can be no good governance where there is no justice. The killers of General Ali Kali must be tried. They must be prosecuted with vigor by the state government, because we are watching.
All right, Prof, I'm sure that will be a good place to leave it, and I know that Murik will be on the case of Walida till its logical conclusion. Prof, I must thank you very much for coming on the show this morning and sharing the information that you have as regards this case. Prof Ishaq Akitola, Executive Secretary of Muslim Rights Concern, thank you very much indeed, sir, for your time.
Executive Director, ma'am.
Oh, sorry, Executive Director.
You are oppressing me, ma'am. You have oppressed me. You have demoted me.
Oh, I demoted you by calling you an Executive Secretary.
No hard feelings. No hard feelings.
All right, sir. Apology, sir. Apology. All right. Executive Director of Murik. Yes, Ishaq, Professor Ishaq Akitola, Executive Director of Murik. Many thanks, sir, for your time. And that's the show for today. All right. And that's the show for today. You join us again tomorrow bright and early. From me, Medina Azaki, and the whole team here. It's bye for now.